I don't consider myself a woman. Yeah, a controversial statement. If I don't complete this, I'm not supposed to be here, right? I don't consider myself a woman. I consider myself to be a fully functioning human being inside the body of a woman. Now that distinction has changed my life. It has completely changed the way I have lived my life and what happened in my life. A fully functioning human being inside the body of a woman. And I'm going to share something with you, something that I've never shared with anybody in my life. And this is 2001, 2002, a picture. Can you recognize this person behind me? Yeah, it's me. Oh my God. I was at a place where things were sad, distressed, depressed, sick, unfortunate, everything that I could possibly say was negative was going on in my life. And then, one day I spoke to my inner voice, which told me this little thing. Be a fully functioning human being. You know why women have a problem? Because they live in the slot of a woman. Don't live in that slot. Become a fully functioning human being. You're in a body of a woman, but that doesn't mean you're not a human being. Go out there and become a fully functioning human being. And I thought to myself, I said, oh yes, this sounds quite nice, but how do I go about it? Again, I go back to my voice and I ask. And it says, listen, where do you want to go? You have a place to go? You know where you're going? I said, yes, I do. Then start moving in that direction, start taking action. And I said, yes, I'm doing it. I'm taking all the action that I'm supposed to, and I'm doing pretty fine. And then, you know, the voice said, if this is what you look like, oh, sorry, you're not doing your part. And then I said, okay, I'm listening to you, but then I'll go try something out. And when I tried, I failed over and over and over and over again, and then went back to that inner voice and I said, what's happening? This is not working. And I'm sure a lot of women over here have gone through something like that, when you give it a try and it just doesn't happen. And then it said, listen, it's about your actions. Your action does everything for you. If you're here, it's because of your action. If you want to be at another place, it will be because of your action. So your action does everything for you. What do you do with your action? And I said, listen, now this is puzzling. I don't know what I mean. I'm just acting. I'm doing my stuff. What am I supposed to do for action? I don't know. And then I kept working on it until I realized that this is a formula. I combined the whole thing together. And probably you could note that up, because this is really interesting. Being a fully functioning human being, taking action in the direction of where we want to go, and pushing your action wholeheartedly from behind. And I did that for many years. Hits and trials, lots of failures. And you know what I came to? Right, next picture. Now this is not a makeover, believe me. This is not a makeover. This is not a makeover. This is just that inner transformation, the transformation in action, one after the other. I said, I have to do it. I have to be a fully functioning human being. I didn't know how. I just started moving, and that was the time. And it took me years to do that. It took me mistakes. It took me failures. It took me many, many emotional ups and downs. But if this is what is achievable, I think it's everybody's possibility. Right? You can show them the next. That's a laughter. Yeah. Whew. Yes, that's possible. That's possible from that point, that previous picture to this one. Traveling from there to this is a possibility. It's everybody's possibility. And I'm sure there are a lot of people, I know people are here in this crowd who are actually, who've done bigger things. But to be able to get out there and tell yourself, yes, it is possible for me. If I told you that the next 45 minutes could change your life completely, forever, would that excite you? Yes. Like that? The next 45 minutes, please, I'm requesting you very humbly to stay here, not just physically, but all of you. All of you. Okay? Because what's going to change is your action. It's not about what you're going to learn over here. It's about how you're going to go and do things from now on. That's going to change completely. Okay? So my question to all of you, why are you here? Okay, hold on. That answer is not to come to me, but it has to go to you. What is it that brought you here? Now forget about what's happening on the stage over here. But there's that little something, that little reason that must have gone into you at some point to say, okay, I need to be in this place. Something must have happened. Something must have triggered that. Something must have actually propelled you to take action and come into this room. Why are you here? And I want you to answer that for yourself. That little reason over there. And all our actions are the same. They all have that little something behind them, that little reason behind them. Always, always, always. But unfortunately, we are all, most of us, not all of us, most of us are victims of unconscious doing. And I'm going to repeat this. Most of us are victims of unconscious doing. And my point is, if my action originates from me, it belongs to me. I need to have control over it. I should be able to add to it, subtract from it, to do what I want to do with it. But unfortunately, it's so unconscious that I'm losing out on the power of what is conscious doing. Imagine the power. Imagine the power when you know exactly what you're doing, why you're doing, where it is going, what results you're looking for, and to get there. That's power. Unconscious doing. The fact is, we are at the center point of all action. I am at the center point of all action. And therefore, I'm also at the center point of making any change that is there in my action. Right? There is nobody else outside of me. But unfortunately, what we do is, we just go on doing things without realizing why we're doing them, and at the same time, we keep cribbing about things not happening, and then at the end of it, if we are told it's not for women, I think it's really horrible. I've heard it lots of times. How many of us have heard this, it's not for women? You're a woman, you can't be doing this. I mean, I know lots of us over here. I've heard that lots of times. I used to get frustrated, people coming in and forget it, it's not for women. And I used to feel, is it a curse being a woman? Is it wrong being a woman? Come on, I can go out there and do it, but I just need to know how to do it, that's it. So it doesn't make a difference if I'm a man or a woman. So life, I would say that this is something so commonly happening around us, and more so when we do not realize why it is happening. I think it's time that we should know why it is happening and what we can do about it. So ready to know that? I want to take you to movies. All of us have been to movies? Yeah? We go there for what? The reason? Fun? Entertainment? Any filmmakers here? Any TV people? No. Okay. I'm going to take you to the filmmaker's perspective. A film always begins with an idea. Just an idea. I've seen filmmakers doing that. Just an idea. And then built around it is so much substance in terms of the story, the characters, the plot, and everything else. And the director of the film or the filmmaker will use every possible resource that is there at his disposal, every tool, every skill to convey that idea as a visual picture. Everything. Starting from the colors, the backgrounds, the music, the costumes, literally everything. Literally, you see, manipulating even the blink of the eyelid, even the blow of the wind, even that little silence. Everything is being manipulated by the filmmaker to convey that idea. And I think life is similar. It's all about people. It's about situations. It's about events. It's about things similar to a movie. And if I were to ask this question to everybody, because I asked that to myself, if I were such an idea, if I were such a film, what does my film look like? Mine looked horrible. Seriously, I don't want to look back and see my film again. It did. So if I were such an idea, if you were such an idea, what does your film look like? Does it look like an award-winning film? Do you play a compelling character? Is there a great plot? Is the storyline something so exciting that people would like to come and see it? What is it? similarity to movies ends over there. Like a filmmaker controls the character and everything in the movie, we are not able to control our lives. And we don't do that because we never use our resources. We never use the resources that are at our disposal. How can a filmmaker control because of the resources that he has? Now we have the resources and we do not control purely because we do not use the resources. So the next question is, where are these resources? What are these resources? Like movies are in different layers, different things are being shown, but the protagonist is in front, there's a lot in the background which conveys the idea. Life is similar, multi-dimensional. So we'll pick up a 3D or 4D version, for example, of life, and unfortunately we don't have the 3D, 4D classes in life to see that world. Life doesn't give us that. We don't come with an instruction manual, and we want to crack it ourselves. So today, we want to crack, right? 8 volunteers, please. 8. Come on, quick. Can I have that hammer, please? Now, I'm trying to create a visual for you so that you will never forget this. In your whole lifetime, I'm sure you'll never forget this. Okay, come on. So, are we already 7 of us? Wow. Yes, thank you ladies, thank you. Did you see the handout that's come in your goodie bag? Sorry? You can come up. I'll use it myself. Yeah, come. Eventually I'm going to use it. Okay. So if you turn to the page 2 of this one. You see the essential dimensions? Have you got that? You guys like to sit down? Those are for you. Wonderful. Okay, got that everybody? Get behind your baby. All these dimensions. Yeah? Sorry. Now we are working all the time in basically seven dimensions. And I call them the essential dimensions because this is something that is always with us. Always with us. There's never a time that these things are not acting in us, provided we see them. If we don't see them, they're not there. What's in focus is visible, what's out of focus is invisible. Unfortunately, like I said, unconscious doing, this is the unconscious area. So let's treat this as the first layer of our life. The 7 dimensions, the 7 essential dimensions. So for example, Catherine is physical. Okay? Your Gauri is mental. You are emotional. You are what? Okay. I didn't get that right. This is Sony. So this is, say for example, Bliss. This is Cecilia. Can you just read out those for me, please? Yeah. And your? Alice? Okay. So let's see that these are the 7 essential dimensions that are there. Okay, now what's happening is, if this one moves, each of them moves. They all move in the same direction. If it goes negative, all of them. If it goes positive, all of them. However, we never see we were acting on this, or acting on this, or acting on that. But this is happening all the time. Now this is where that little something, that little reason takes place. It starts from here. It's one of these. Why were you here? What made you come here? Something out there. Something in one of those areas must have sort of triggered it for you to think and to make it happen for you. It's like a little bubble. You know, bubbles are below the pond, but they do not become visible until they actually come up on the surface. Right? So this is how we are there in the background. But what do? sitting very comfortably in the bag, and this is me. I get out there as an individual, visible to the world. At this point, I have begun to act. Okay? So what I do is, I need 3 more people here. 3 volunteers, please. 3 more. Come on. Hi. Come, Shaya. She's my friend from India who's come all the way from India. Please come. Come. Yeah. Now, this is the individual. Now, each one of these people, each one of these aspects of life, each one of these dimensions is affecting the individual all the time. It's for me to check it out. It's for me to identify it. If I don't identify it, I don't know where I'm acting from. So this is where all the things happen. Now what happens really is, can I have the view in front of you? Yeah. Now this is when I move from an individual to start acting, to do something. Okay? You people dance. You do. Yeah, we are having fun. So you do. Yeah, can you just teach them anything that you know? Anything? Yeah, anything. Yeah, you say at the same time. You all do it at the same time. Yeah. So come on. Yeah, good job. That's a nice one. Now, do you see what has happened? Now, if I presume that this is my physical self, I move from here to here. This is my physical self, which is acting. This is what I bring with me. Maybe a little bit of thought and say, this is my mental. A little bit of feeling which says, I am emotional about this, and I'm doing this, and I go out and act over there, leaving behind the rest of everything that is around me. And then, what happens is, can you hold on, please, from here? Yeah, and can you hold on from here? Can you move in that direction? And you move in that direction, please? And you try to walk. Okay. Okay, we're not falling, okay? You know what? This is how we work. Without agreement between all of us. Most of the people I know are thinking something, talking something, feeling something, going out there and doing something else, and coming back home and saying, woo, it just didn't work. Does it happen? Yes. Right? Now, if I told you that instead of coming to this place first, no, you guys can stay here. Instead of coming to this place first, if over here I actually took a little bit of an about turn and spoke to each of these people. And I asked them, which one today? Where am I today? Which one am I moving from? Which one am I carrying with me? Which is the one which is important to me? Where am I going? Why do I need to do these things? And then, if I'm in agreement, and then from this space I move to this space. And then you see, come. Yeah. So, can you do this? This. One second. And the dance can then look like this. Okay, which one is better? The first one or this one? In coordination. You got to move together. Your action is not going to be effective if 80% of you is sitting behind you that layer, you don't even know what's making you act. You realize that? It's very simple. It's very simple. It's only about awareness. So today my thought was that I should be able to at least convey that awareness to you with the help of these friends over here, the sisters over here, that this is something so you should never forget this scene. With all these ladies, beautiful ladies sitting in the back, with one lady in the middle who we are not looking at it all at the moment, and 3 in front acting out, yeah, there she is, acting out for us. Now this is layers and layers of our life. Either we figure this out, or we forget about acting effectively. Now, please remember, before I ask these ladies to leave from here, that this works together. This works together, okay? Because I'm going to repeat this over and over. This works together. I'm going to come back to it again. Thank you so much, ladies. Thank you. Now with this, if I ask you to go back to the handout, there's a column for rating yourself. The first one, Just leave me. Yeah. Have we done that? That's all. Sorry. Yeah. I said the first column is rating. So could you just rate yourself in that dimension from 1 to 100? Whatever you think, where are you? Where are you at the moment? Yeah. 1 to 100, yeah. Where you are at the moment? Yeah, that I'm going to talk about here. First I need you to rate yourself. And this is going to be a quick one. We're not spending too much time on it. Okay, I want a random one for you, random, quick one. Are we done? Now this is where you feel you probably might be in your life, in that area. Now this needs to be actually thought out very deeply, but for the moment we're just going to take a random figure. It says, okay, this is where I am. Now the next step, if you really want to bring about a change, and a lot of times, we go in for these personal development things, we want to make some changes, we try some new things, and things just keep popping up from here and there, and we do something, we succeed at something, we fail at something, and after a point we say, okay, it's not happening the way I thought it would be, so let's forget about it. I don't want you to forget about it. On the next column, what is called ideal, I said put yourself on the highest ideal in that area. Not the shortest, smallest one, but the highest ideal you think you would like to be in probably your physical dimension, your mental dimension, your emotional dimension, your intellectual dimension, your blissful dimension. Where do you want to be? The highest. Don't even think small. No thinking small. We're thinking big. The highest possible ideal that you can ever imagine for yourself. So now what remains is the distance between that rating to your ideal. I can't tell you where to begin right now, but yes, the distance between your rating and your ideal is what is left with you to do. But if you did not have an ideal, you would probably be walking a little bit and then walking back. Stopping. I don't want you to stop. Create an ideal. A big, huge ideal. I'm not saying everybody's going to reach that, but at least create an ideal for yourself. Look at yourself at the highest possible point that you can think of for yourself. It may be weird, it may be beyond everybody's belief, it may be beyond comprehension, it may be abnormal. Just do it. Put it down over there. And from there, then we begin to walk. Then we begin to walk. And a lot of people, like myself, I reached such a desperate point in my life that I had to change. Until now, this is all theory, right? Rating, ideals, everything is fine. After this, people, we have to act. Otherwise, it's not worth the time, okay? So we need to start wondering how. Where do I begin to act? What am I supposed to do? So a lot of people would say, okay, I want to do this, I'm going to start next month. Or I'm going to start after 6 months. Or I'm going to see when to do it. Okay, I'll figure it out. I'm going to sit and talk to my friends. Oh, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. I don't want you to do any of those things, please. The next column is about crossroads. You don't have to reach a crossroad in life to be able to go out and make a change. You don't need a crossroad. It doesn't have to be desperate. Life doesn't have to beat you down until you wake up one day and say, oh my God, I need to change. We are sensible people. We found the place where we are and we found the place where we want to be. And now the whole thing is that we need to start walking towards that. That's about it. So if you remember the first formula, The fully functioning human being in the direction that we are going, take action in that direction and start pushing your action wholeheartedly in every possible way and from all the dimensions. A lot of people will say, okay, how do I create this crossroad? What is it? So this is something in my mind I need to figure out. Why is it important for me? It may be unimportant for a lot of people. But as women, I'm telling you that there is already a lot happening around us which sort of pushes us down. Okay? Now let's go backwards. Let's push it back. Let's not sit there thinking that someday I'm going to do it. Let's make it today. This conference, this day, this moment which says, okay, I'm going to push it back and I'm not going to let it push me down. I'm going to start it today, right now. I know where I am. I know where I want to be. Simple. Now once that happens, there is a formula that I also want you to write and I call it the action index. AIAI. Please note that down. It's very simple. It's very simple and I have worked with a lot of people with this and it has given me such massive results. And it is add, implement, assess and improvement. Add, implement, assess and improvement. Okay. Now if you pick up an area, wherever you are in that area, wherever you rated yourself for that, and pick up one area. Now remember, I told you all these things work together. Okay? So for example, I do start doing something in the physical. It is bound to have an impact on all those other 7 people who are sitting over, seven dimensions that we just saw. But what people do is, like they do physical, for example, they do physical, emotional, or mental, and then they say, okay, this worked, this did not work, but they have never bothered to go out and see what happened over there. And then they find it a very small change. What I'm trying to tell you is that when you go out there and add something to whichever that rating, whatever you want to do, that little something, go out there and implement it, take some action, assess it, just see what happens. Maybe 0.5%, maybe 10%, maybe 5%, maybe a little bit more. And then the trick is, measure in every area. It has affected each and every area over here. And that is massive. We never notice the change that comes in other areas. Do you think if physically you're feeling fit, mentally you're not going to feel great? Oh, my shoes suck. Right? So if you're feeling good emotionally, do you think it's going to affect your workplace? If you're doing well in your job, do you think you're going to feel good emotionally? Do you think intellectually, if you come up with a new degree, everything else around you is going to get affected? Now that is what you need to learn. That the moment you make improvement in one place, one dimension, anywhere on that dimension, everywhere else that improvement has to show. Measure that. And then when you start with a different area, don't start with that rating, start with that improved place. You will never go back. You will never stop progressing. You know, the refinement of this whole thing is to be able to grab it at the root there itself. Check that out over there. And this is called compounding progress. We look for progress, we say, okay, we'll do it over so much. No. We don't want it over a period. It will happen over a period, but we want to see something now. So compounding your progress is very important. Being able to get from every personal action, the maximum leverage that you can get. Otherwise, you're wasting such power. Wasting power is not good. It's not worth it. Why should we even act if you're wasting it all? So it happens in every area, and we need to know that. So when you've done one, measure in every other. See what's happening over there. Start out with the next. Start from the point of improvement. Don't start from the point, because the rating is going to change every time you pick up any dimension to change it. Does it look like a possibility? Do you think it's something that you guys can do? That way? It is very easy. Now if I ask you again to go and look at yourself, and look at your life, and look at it as a film, as a multi-dimensional, multi-layered something that we need to crack for ourselves. Does this give you a little bit of a leeway into it, a little bit of a break outcome and what we need to do for it, how I need to do it and why I need to do it, and if I need to change it, what I can do with it, I know exactly what to do with it. So for me, my journey from that picture to this has been amazing. Not a moment has gone by when I haven't felt empowered, and I've never felt like a weak woman. I felt like a fully functioning, empowered woman. Where, like, I think everybody over here can do the same thing. If it's possible for me, it's possible for everybody else in this room. So would you like to rewrite some parts of your film now? This is where the shots were. This is where we frame things. This is where things are composed. This is where we actually show it to the world. That is where we need to actually back off a little bit and go back there and see where it's coming from before we get out to the first place. So from my side,